now. And we're going to be doing restorative animal flow work. We're going to focus on some diaphragmatic breathing today. So have your mat out for being on the ground, and some hip work to go with all of our rotation we did this week. Oh, I had to plug my computer in. One moment. Okay. Now we're ready. All right. Come on down to the floor, down to the mat, and we're gonna lay on our back. Stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out, reach tall like you just woke up in the morning and you're stretching, and relax. Take the arms down to the sides, palms up, and you're gonna put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and start to take a deep breath where you can feel both the chest and the belly rise. Exhale all the way. Push all the air out. Another deep breath. In and out. Now we're going to take our feet, moving them up. We're going to get ready for a glute bridge. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, fill that belly and chest up as you come up, filling it up really big. Then we're going to exhale at the top, squeezing it all out. So inhale, fill. Stay up and squeeze all the air out. Now hold your breath, keep all that air squeezed out, and come back down. And inhale. And now this is kind of weird and small, but what we're going to practice is stretching our diaphragm. So you're going to exhale all that air out, and then inhale, or not inhale, but expand your rib cage without inhaling. So I'll show what that looks like just on the belly. So I'm going to inhale, exhale, so you get that pull of the rib cage, and that's going to stretch your diaphragm. So I'll show again from the front so you can see. So we're going to fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale. Hold. And then that breath will pull back in. So what that feeling is, that feeling when you're pulling the ribs open, you're stretching your diaphragm. So now we're going to do that same thing on the ground in that glute bridge. So we're going to practice inhaling on the way up. Exhale down to the bottom, hold that breath, that exhale, and pull the ribs, and hold that for as long as you can until the air vacuums back in. We're going to do 5 deep diaphragmatic breaths like that. So come on down to the mat, and this might feel very strange at first. That's pretty normal. It's a weird thing to start to get accustomed to, stretching your diaphragm. So here we're going to do 5. Inhale as you go up. Exhale at the top. Push all the air, all of it out. Good. So I can't talk when I pull the rib cage, but you're holding that exhale, pulling the rib cage open, and you should feel a big stretch on the underside of your ribs. Okay, here we go. 4 more. Inhale on the way up. Exhale. you find yourself coughing, that's very normal, especially when you're exhaling all your air. If you cough a little bit, or when the air gets sucked back in, you cough a little bit, that's pretty normal. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale. One more big diaphragmatic breath and stretch. Big, big inhale up. Okay. Go ahead, give your belly a little abdominal massage, moving in a clockwise direction. Nice, gentle. And you can cross your legs, and we're going to roll up to seated position. All right, so now from your cross leg, let's take those legs into a straddle. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Much better. Take it out to that straddle where you can comfortably open the backs and the knees to the floor. You can flex and point your toes, and you can roll your knees in and out. And let's give those thighs a good internal, external roll here. Just feeling that rotation happening in the leg. Core is upright, straight back. And then we're going to take a pause, holding the knees out. Pull the toes towards the face. And then roll, point the toes and roll the knees in and hold. And we're going to roll out, point, flex the toes. And roll in, point the toes. I'm going to do 2 more. Roll out, flex, pull the toes towards the face. And roll in, point. All right, from here, take your hands under the backs of your knees so you can lift them in nice and comfortably. And we're going to shoot our legs out straight in front of us. Pull the toes back towards the face. Open the back of the knee towards the floor. Find your sit bones where you can sit right on top of them with that neutral spine. We're going to inhale, stretch our arms up, palms facing each other. And exhale, hinge forward from that hip. Once you go as far as you can with the straight back, let the arms fall to the legs, either to the ankles, the calves, the heels. Keep pulling your toes back towards your face. Pull the shoulders low, away from the ears. And when you inhale, imagine you're growing your spine longer. And when you exhale, pulling yourself a little bit deeper, shoulders low. Inhale, taller. Exhale, pull a little bit deeper. And on your next exhale, slide those hands back. We're going to go through our seated hip work. You can start with one leg, sliding it into the hip, and then let it fall open. Keep the hips straight on the ground. Cat. And the front foot nice and straight. Inhale, stretch tall, palms facing each other. And exhale, hinge from that hip, nice straight back, letting the arms fall when the back stops. Same process. Inhale, grow tall through the crown of your head. Exhale, see if you can pull a little bit deeper into that. One more deep breath. And on your next exhale, slide the hands back. We're going to help this leg up and over across in a figure four, and we can pull the foot towards our face and push down on that thigh and just give a little bit of resistance to opening that hip. You want to push your leg against your hand and then relax and let things open a little bit more. Kind of push and resist and then relax into that stretch. And now send the arms up, stretching tall, and exhale. Hinge forward from the hip. We're letting those hands fall. Hips are straight. Feel both of those hips on the ground. Opening up the back of the leg of the straight leg on the ground and opening up the back of the hip on our bent leg. Inhale, nice and tall, and exhale, pull a little bit more into that stretch. And on your next exhale, slide that hand back. We're going to finish with seated twist. So leg all the way over on the other side of the leg. Inhale, sit tall, and you're going to turn into your bent leg. Put the hand on the ground behind you. Think about being very tall from the bottom of your tailbone up through the top of the crown of your head. You can put that elbow onto the outer thigh. Turn and look behind you. And here we're going to inhale, draw the spine up tall, exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. And on our next exhale, unwinding. You're going to help that leg up and over, sliding it back. And taking a forward fold in the middle here before working on the other side. Inhale, sit tall, exhale, hinge forward from the hip, letting those hands fall. And I can already tell I'm a little bit further. I'm able to grab onto my heels now. Inhale, tall, exhale, deepen into the stretch. Think about the stretch being active and pulling yourself into the stretch with your whole body, not just your arms, but using your abdominals, your hamstrings, the muscles on your back, and exhale. Slide the hands back, sitting tall again. Let's take the other leg now. We're going to slide that foot into the hip and then let the foot fall open so it's on the inside of the hip. Nice front foot is straight. And we're going to inhale, sit tall, reach, and exhale, hinge forward from the hip, letting those hands fall. Exhale. Pull yourself a little deeper. Inhale, grow taller through the spine, shoulders low. And on your next exhale, slide the hands back. We're going to hop the foot up and over. And just like we did on the last side, you can pull the foot towards the face and push on the inner thigh to open the hip. Nice deep breath. Push against your hands with your feet and your leg and then relax. Give it some active resistance. And we're going to inhale, reach tall. exhale, hinge from the hip, nice straight back. Every time you exhale, see if you can deepen into the stretch. Inhale, we're intensifying, elongating. And exhale, slide the hands back. Help that foot all the way over and across for our seated twist. Front foot is pointed straight up. Pull those toes back towards the face. Inhale tall and exhale, turn into that crossed leg. Hand planted behind you. I'm going to turn and look. And inhale, draw yourself up tall. Exhale, pull yourself deeper into the twist. And on your next exhale, release that back to the center. You're going to hop the leg up and over, sliding it back. And inhale, tall. Exhale, hinge forward. And see how deep we can take this last forward fold. And exhale, let's slide it back. All right, so if you want to hold under the knees to lift those legs up, since we did a fair bit of stretching those out, and we're going to take it up into quadruped position. First, we're going to do a stretch, and then we're going to try a little active flexibility of these inner thighs. So make sure that the knees are right under the hips. We're going to lift up one leg to the side, and let's do that without arching our backs. Keep that core nice and tight as you push out to the side. Then kick that leg out straight. You're going to let that foot come down onto the mat. Let's get the foot down so you can feel the floor underneath the bottom of your foot. Core isn't engaged rather than hyperextended. Make sure you keep that tailbone tucked. Then we're going to rock back and forth, keeping our core tight, so not rounding as we come back into it. Keep that core just as a perfect cylinder. We're stretching that inner thigh on this leg right here. Push it a little bit deeper each time. And take it back. We're going to hold and push that foot down into the ground to really make this an active stretch. And we're going to hold this. And just a little bit longer. And releasing, you can bring that leg back in. We're going to do the second side. Kick the leg up to the side, out straight. Get the foot down on the ground, and we're going to rock. Keeping our back straight, core engaged. Good feel of the floor, underneath the hands. And we're gonna come back and hold. That stretch, push that outer foot there down into the ground, push, push, push. And just a little longer. And come on up, bring that foot in. So now we're gonna turn it over onto our back again. And this is where we're gonna do our active flexibility. So I think it's best if I show from this angle. So we wanna have our back flat on the ground, right? And feet straight up in the air. So it's basically like our forward fold that we were doing, but now we're on our back instead of laying on our legs. And you want to make sure you keep the backs of the knees really open straight. So think about really flexing those quads. And you can either do flex feet or pointed feet. Either one works for me. And you're going to very slowly, we're going to take our time, take about 30 seconds, and we're going to go as wide as we can. Opening the legs very, very slow. All the way as far as we can go. Take your time. It's only been 10 seconds. Keep going. Slowly, slowly. As far as we can get. Keep your core engaged. And now we're going to start the journey up over 30 seconds. Squeeze the quads. We're going to take just as much time going up as we did down. Legs are straight. Can you see how much my legs are shaking? Almost there. 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, awesome. All right, so followed along with that one. We're going to do 2 more, just like that, taking our sweet time. All right, so legs up. Here we go. Really open the backs of the knees. Keep those super straight and open. Take your time. 1001, 1002, just like that. Point your kneecaps down to the ground. You can flex your feet. You can point your toes. Keep going. About 10 more seconds on the way down. It's the way up that's really gonna kill us. Get wide. And here we go, close. Just as slowly as we did on the way up. Nice straight legs. They're shaking. Give me 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, cool. Take a little bit of a rest. Do whatever you feel like with your hips. You can grab onto your knees and take your knees in a circle. You can hug your knees into your chest. And we're going to do one last round of this slow ass split. Here we go. Legs up and knees out. Let's start to peel it apart. And take our time going down. Core is engaged. Slowly. Good. Keep going. Keep going all the way until you get as far as you can. Big active stretch and squeeze. Let's pull it up. Oh, my legs are shaking. Almost there. And all the way together. And you can bring those legs down. Hug your knees into your chest. And from here, hugging your knees into your chest, you're going to release one leg down to the floor. With this second leg, you're going to take the opposite arm. So if I have my right leg, I'm going to take my left hand underneath that knee. Take my right arm out to the side, palm up. I'm going to turn and look into that palm, shoulder down to the ground, and keeping my shoulder on the floor, I'm going to pull my right leg across to the left side of my body. Keep the shoulder on the ground. Don't let that come up. Just as far as we can go, keeping the shoulder on the ground. Big exhale. Pull that knee up towards your shoulder on your left side, and then we're going to roll it back to neutral. Let's take our second leg, hug it in, give those hips a nice little rest, a little squeeze, and we're going to release the other leg down to the mat. Reach across, hook that leg underneath, and open that opposite arm, palm up. Turn and look to that open palm, shoulders on the ground, and exhale, pull that knee over. Keep the shoulder on the ground on both sides. Nice deep breath. And pull the knee up to the shoulder. Roll back to center. Both knees back into the chest. Hug them into the chest. You can take them into a circle. And we're going to come up to kneeling now. So from my kneeling position, and you can see what you need to see, we're going to go half kneeling stance. If you want something to hold on to during this is fine. We really just want to be able to focus on our stretch. So you want your back foot laid down on the ground and your front foot right under your knee, so you have a nice 90-degree angle in that front knee. Oops, so you don't want to lose balance like that. Push your back foot down into the ground. You're going to squeeze your butt and tuck your butt underneath. So we don't want to be here, but think about locking that butt in. Inhale, reach the arms up tall and drive your hips forward to increase the stretch through the front of the hip. Keep pushing that back foot down into the mat. And we're going to hold and push, 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 squeeze, 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 drive, drive, drive. And exhale. Bring the arms down. We're going to switch legs. Pushing that back knee down into the ground. Front leg is a nice 90-degree angle. Tuck the butt under. Inhale. Reach up. Squeeze the butt under. Push the back foot into the floor and drive those hips forward. Hold as you push, kick, and drive. Very active stretch. And exhale, release that, bring it back to kneeling. Let's take our hands down to the mat in a quadruped, and we're going to take our rib cage in a big circle down towards the mat, over to the left, up top towards the ceiling, over to the right, down to the floor. And again, left, up, side, down. Take that big circle one more round. And down. And now switch directions of that circle over to the side. Tall, low. Big stretch. And come come to neutral. Find a neutral spine, dig the toes in. We're going to kick up and back into downward dog. Walk out the heels. And let the head hang. We're going to take it up into a three-legged dog. Hips are going to stay level. Extend back through that heel, and then bring the knee into the chest into our low lunge. And make sure that front leg is at a 90-degree angle, and you're pulling your back foot towards your front. You're pulling them towards each other. Inhale, open up into that big GSA stretch. Same side as my forward leg is my arm that's up. We're going to float up onto our fingertips. And then finally, we're going to take this top arm. We're going to come all the way up off the floor. Reach that top arm forward in front of us. And turn that foot to the side in the back for a warrior pose. Keep drawing the feet towards each other. Sorry, you can't see my head. Headless. Inhale, reach back. Reach that top arm up overhead. And exhale, pinwheel the arms down, back towards the ground. Straighten out your back foot. And send that back into three-legged dog. And then open it up into your wild thing. Opening up the hip. And let's bring it back down. We're going to switch sides. Just need to take off my socks because this mat is slippery on fabric. So we're in our downward dog. Walk out the heels. And we're going to take our second leg up. Three-legged dog. Bring the knee into the chest, into our low lunge. Pull the feet towards each other, open up in that rotation. Come up onto those fingertips. And get ready to reach that top arm forward. Turn that back foot so it's flat on the ground. And reach those arms straight across. Think about hips are low, but we want to keep this a 90-degree angle. Inhale, reach back. And exhale, hands to the mat. Send it back into three-legged dog. And open into your wild thing. And bring it back to downward dog. Walk out those heels again. And we're going to inhale back to three-legged dog on the right side. And bring it forward into low lunge. Dropping that back knee onto the ground, back foot is going to drop down as well. We're going to open up into our rotation again, and this time drop the hand, reaching for your back foot. If you have the flexibility, kick that foot up so that you can hold on to it and hold our little pretzel here. I'm going to make sure your front foot, front shin is at that right angle. You can turn and look. Think about opening that shoulder. And release the foot gently. Bring the arm back around. And then we're going to pull back, stretching out the hamstring of that front leg. Point the toe of this front foot and flex. Point, flex. Give that hamstring a little floss. And come back forward, hands down on the mat, lift up the back leg, send it back into three-legged dog and wild thing. See me slide on my mat? That wasn't fun. Walk the heels out. And we're going to go left side, three-legged dog. And bring that knee forward into the chest. Low lunge. Laying that back foot, back knee down on the ground. Open up into your rotation. Front shin is a 90-degree angle. And reach for that foot. If you did so on the other side, see if you can lift that up and hold that pose. And it's okay if you have to leave the foot down and just reach for now. Release the foot, work the hand back around, and we're going to drive back, stretch that front hamstring, point, and flex the foot. And come back forward, hands to the mat. Lift up the back knee, back toe, send it back into three-legged dog. And open into your wild thing. And bring it back down. Walk out the heels. Last one each side. Take it up, three-legged dog, into your low lunge. And this time we're going to walk it across our mat. Lay that leg down and lay that down the back foot for a pigeon. Hips are nice and straight. It's okay if they're up off the mat. We're going to walk the hands back and sitting tall. See if you can drive the hips down a little bit more. And come back forward onto the hands. Keep the shoulders low and away from the ears. Hips stay straight. Inhale, grow the spine longer. Exhale, see if you can intensify your stretch. And dig in the back toe, lift up the hips, and we're going to walk that foot now all the way to the outside of the feet. Lizard, lay down the back toes. Inhale, roll that thigh open. You can let the foot roll onto its side. Turn and look, open that shoulder. And exhale, let it roll in. Hand to the mat, lift up the back foot or the back knee. Walk it back to center and send it back into three-legged dog and wild thing. And here we go, last time, last side. Three-legged dog. Take it into your low lunge. Walk it across underneath the body. We're going to put everything down in our pigeon. Hips are straight. Walk it back, be tall. See if you can work those hips a little bit lower. And then you can take it back forward again. Shoulders nice and low. And lift up the hips. Let's bring it all the way to the outside and back down. Nice straight hips. You can roll open by pushing on the inner thigh. And roll it back in, hand back down to the mat. Lift up the hips, lock the foot to the center, send it back into three-legged dog and wild thing. And bring it down, walk out the heel, up onto the tippy toes, roll the front of the shin and the top of the foot. 2, 3. And bring it down and back into child's pose. Stretch the hands forward. And sweep them back, palms up. And let's push ourselves up. Give yourself a pat on the back for taking a few nice deep breaths with me today. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of some deeper hip work. The diaphragmatic breath stuff is interesting to get used to. Kind of feeling that exhale and then that pulling sensation when you open the rib cage. You really feel it almost like right here, but that is where your diaphragm is, so it's underneath that rib cage. So great technique for enhancing your breath work and also just relaxing and de-stressing when we're getting really anxious or stressed out. Tend to hold our breath, tighten in the diaphragm. So this is a great way to stress and de-stress and release that stress held up in our diaphragm. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Keep practicing it. See how it goes. Coughing is normal. And I'll see everybody next week for whatever classes we'll be doing. Some kind of flow, some kind of lift, some kind of restorative work. I really like the mix. Hopefully you do too. Let me know if you had fun with bands this week, and have a great weekend. Take care of yourself.